Welcome back, everybody, to the Pickswise NFL Show. Y'all ready for some playoffs? Because we got the Divisional Round coming up, and I am so excited. Thank you so much for joining us today, whether it's Spotify or YouTube. Please don't forget, if you haven't already done it, like, share, subscribe. Leave us some comments below because we love to hear from you. And usually, I'm all in the mentions, and I'm tweeting and messaging y'all back. So thank you so much for your viewership. All right, as usual, I am joined by my lovely co-host, Jeff Reinebold, and today we have a special guest. We have Chelsa Messinger, who is a professional. I'm going to call you a sports handicapper, okay? You're a great follow on Twitter. You're always putting the best picks out there. She's the host at Picks Parlays. Chelsa, how are you doing today?
Hey, doing good, guys. It makes me a little bit sad that football is almost over, which means that we can be a little bit sharper on our picks because there's fewer games on the board, but definitely ready to rumble for this week in the NFL.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, this time of year makes me sad. It's very bittersweet because we're getting the best of the best games, but I digress. It is coming to an end. But we're not going to talk about that, okay? I'm not going to think about that today. Right, Jeff? It's still football season.
3 more weeks, baby. That's all we got. So let's make it count.
Let's make it count. All right, guys. So wild card weekend was one for the Bucs. It was a lot of fun to watch. The games were fantastic. Chelsa, let me start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from last weekend?
It looks like all of these spreads are super sharp. I think all of these games hit on teasers when you tease down the spread either way. Except for the Steelers. The Steelers were the only team to lay a massive egg when it came to all of those games. So looking forward to some good ones. And I think it's a good spot for some teasers. If you do think these spreads are sharp yet again, it's a good opportunity to maybe tease some of these point spreads down to your favor.
Yeah, I was telling you before we started the show, teasers are something that I have not yet in my brief gambling career kind of gotten into, but I'm eager to get more into it, to learn more, but to get more comfortable with it. Jeff, are you teasing anything this weekend? Or actually, what teased you last weekend? What'd you notice? Anything stand out to you?
You know, the thing that was the craziest one was obviously the Steeler game. That was just nobody could have predicted or saw that coming. And then I thought there were a number of games that were really interesting. The Washington game, it was really not close, but on the scoreboard it got semi-close, and the New Orleans game was pretty much the same deal. Playoff football is hard to bet because it's a different animal. I mean, it's approached a different way from the coaches. It's the pressure of the playoffs, the way the game's played in the playoffs is a little bit different. So I think it's going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah, guys, what stood out to me last weekend was just the simple fact that, shout out to the Cleveland Browns, who hadn't won a playoff game since 1994. One of the most loyal fan bases on the planet is the Dog Pound. And growing up when I was little, all I remember is them wearing paper bags on their heads. And they don't need to hide anymore. Like, that, what a fantastic win over the Steelers. And then you look at the Bills, who hadn't won a playoff game since 95. Oh my goodness, another ridiculously loyal fan base. So I'm just really happy for those two teams. Josh Allen is shining. He's proved me to be a liar because I even came out with a video when he got drafted dogging him. I didn't expect anything out of that guy, and he is playing lights out. Chelsa, do you remember what you were doing in 94 or 95?
No. What was I, like 6 or 7? I feel like I don't remember anything from my childhood past when I was like 10. I don't know if I've hit my head too many times, drank too many beers, but yeah, don't remember much when it comes to that time of my life. But you talk about the Browns, they were bad like 3 years ago. That wasn't your childhood. That was recent memory. The bags over the head.
My whole life. My whole life, basically.
You know what's amazing about this weekend now? We've got a quarterback in Tom Brady who's completed more playoff passes than Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen have even thrown in the playoffs. That's amazing. There are more passes completed than 4 of the other quarterbacks have ever thrown, and he's got more Super Bowl rings than they've got touchdown passes. So it's amazing. It's incredible stats. And it's a battle of the OGs this week, between in New Orleans where you got Drew Brees and Tom going at each other. I don't know. Did you see that little tweet that Tom put out?
Yes, I saw it.
I know he likes to get He gets sassy. I know that. What did he do?
Oh, it was the best meme. You need to see it. It was a picture of both of them aged like a few years with gray hair, and it's brought to you by the History Channel.
Yeah, okay, I saw that.
It looked like two dudes off Duck Dynasty. I swear to God.
Life below zero for sure. Yeah. It's not often I get excited to watch men in their 40s play sports, but I digress. We have the Buccaneers and the Saints this week. So, guys, let's go ahead. I'm eager to get into this weekend's worth of playoff games. And let's just go ahead and start off with the Rams at the Packers, okay? The Rams going to play at Lambeau Field as of Wednesday. That's today when we film the show. The Packers right now are sitting at 6.5-point favorites with the point total sitting at 46 points. Now, the Packers, they should be well rested, right, going into this weekend. They finished the season as the number 1 seed in the NFC, 10-6 against the spread. The Rams went into Seattle as 3-point dogs, and they ended up winning 30-20. Made me a liar on that game for sure. It was a Sean McVay clinic. Cam Akers, he ran everywhere and then some. They won the game, even with Jared Goff playing with basically one thumb, right? There's still a lot of doubt that Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp will play this weekend. We don't know. Chelsa, Jeff, this is a lot tougher for the Rams. Can they run into Lambeau Field and come out of this game with a win, or can they at least cover the 6.5 points? Chelsa, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think the thing for the Rams is if they can slow down the tempo of this game and make it a slow-paced run-first game, kind of like the Colts did with the Bills. You see the kind of offense that Bills team is, but yet the Colts were able to slow down the pace because they could run the ball effectively. And Cam Akers actually had a good running game last game, 131 yards on the ground. So I think they can keep it close if they can slow down the tempo of this game. That being said, it's not going to be especially easy when you have Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers, because Davante Adams has had number 1 corners guarding him all season long, but somehow he's still putting up unreal numbers when it comes to the fantasy charts. One of the matchups to watch this week will be Jalen Ramsey against Davante Adams. Looking forward to that one. So that's my initial thoughts when it comes to Packers and Rams.
Jeff, how do you see this one going?
A lot the same way. I think that's going to be really interesting, the chess match that Brandon Staley's going to play, because about 40% of the time Jalen will be on Davante Adams. But they have some other players that and they do some really interesting things on defense. They are very, very good up front. They dominated Seattle's offensive line. Seattle couldn't run the ball. Again, they sacked a guy as clever as Russell Wilson 15 times in 3 games. You try and say, show me like, okay, well, Russell Wilson's more adept at getting out of the pocket and avoiding sacks than Aaron Rodgers is. So I think that's a real plus for the Rams. I think the Rams are going to cover. I really do think the Rams are going to cover, because like we said, they can run the football. And Chelsea was exactly right. Akers is healthy. He wasn't healthy for 2 weeks. He's back healthy. Andrew Whitworth, their offensive tackle, is back. He played last week for the first time. And he's as much a dominant run blocker as they have. Plus, he's really, really the heart and soul of that offensive line. They will take care of trying to mitigate the quarterback issue as much as they can. It's really important, at least in my mind, it's really important for them to stay close or get ahead early in the game so that they can control the narrative. If Aaron Rodgers goes off early, then it's going to be a challenge. I think, it's good to get the bye, but I also see a lot of teams when they come off the bye are going to have some rust on them. So I think that's going to be another advantage for the Rams. And, again, the Rams know what they're up against. And Sean McVay is really, really good at big game football. So I'm going to say that the Rams are going to cover. And, that point total, that's a scary one to me, when you look at that point total. So, because, again, these teams can score points, but I'm going to say it's going to be an under.
Okay, you're taking the under, and you're taking the Rams to cover. Look, Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur are like BFFs for life, right? These guys love each other. They hang out in the off season. I think they're all from the Shanahan tree. If you go back in the history books and look at it, which is like my favorite coaching tree of all time. With that being said, I think it really like the Packers, they have a guy, what's his name, Beldier, that they're pulling off of the Colts practice squad. So they have a guy coming in to play in the offensive line that is the first person ever to play wait, how am I trying to word this? Played for the Colts last week, and now he's playing for the Packers this week. So the first person ever to play for two different teams in the postseason. There we go. That scares me a lot, especially if Aaron Donald's playing. You know what I'm saying? Look, I have the Rams covering in this game, but I thoroughly expect Aaron Rodgers to cook. And I know that the Rams, they're holding other teams to like 18.5 points, I think, on average. Like, that defense is for real. They really are. 46 points is too low for me, though. It's just too low. I'm not feeling it. You know me, Jeff. I always take the over and everything. It's a fault of mine. I'm going to take the over. Chelsa, just to be clear, just to put it on record on wax, I did not catch who you expected. Do you think the Rams are covering or Green Bay?
I'm going to the teasers. I'm taking the Packers -2.5 and taking the under 51.5. That's the total teased up, and then taking the under in that one. You can get it in a teaser for, I believe, at plus money, plus 109, I think, on FanDuel. So that is where I'm headed on that one, playing the conservative approach.
I love it. You brought a whole new thing to the show that none of our other guests have done yet with this, and I really like it. That's really smart. So I like your pick. So there you have it, guys. That's our picks for this game. We have Chelsa. She's doing a teaser. She's got the Packers 2.5 and under 51.5. I believe I'm saying that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff has the Rams covering 6.5, and he's taking the under. I'm taking the Rams to cover as well, but I'm taking the over because you know me, it's just way too low. I can't do it. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Who you got, Rams or Packers? All right, guys, let's talk about the second Saturday game. The Baltimore Ravens heading into Buffalo to play the Bills. As of Wednesday, the Bills are 2.5-point favorites, and the point total is set at 49.5. Now, the Bills, they beat the Colts 27-24 last Saturday. It was by far, I think, my favorite game of the day. Josh Allen, he threw for 324 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. He put the team on his back, and they advanced. Now, the Ravens, they somehow did the unthinkable, right? They shut down Derrick Henry. They shut down, and whenever you do that, you usually shut down Ryan Tannehill, right? They let Lamar Jackson do his thing, 136 yards rushing for that man and a touchdown. They've now won 6 on the bounce. Jeff, Chelsa, this is a matchup that wouldn't look out of place for Super Bowl. What are you guys leaning? Bills 2.5, Ravens covering 2.5. How do you see it going, Chelsa?
Once again, I'm going to be on a teaser and a prop in this one. I think what stood out to me about the Ravens game wasn't Lamar Jackson. I know the narrative is, oh, we finally won a playoff game. He's finally back. But it was that Ravens run defense. You said it in the intro. If you can stop Derrick Henry, you're doing something right. And that Ravens defense up front has looked totally different with Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams up front. So I think it's going to be tough sledding for the Bills here. However, I think I will be going to the props market as Lamar Jackson, his rushing total is 74.5 rush yards at -112. He's hit that number in 5 of his last 6 games, including 136 yards against the Titans. And then you have a Bills run defense giving up the 3rd most rush yards per game at 163 in the NFL. So that's where I'll be headed in this one.
I love it. Now, Jeff, you and I have talked about it many times over the season. The Bills defensively, their weakness is right in the middle, right? Go ahead and tell me how you think this game's going to go.
Well, I agree with Chelsa that, you know, the Ravens going to run the football, and they're going to run it with a bunch of people. It's not just going to be the Lamar Jackson show, you know, whether it's J.K. Dobbins or whomever it is, they are going to run the football. They know that that's their best way to control the tempo in the game, to get up on top. I'm a little concerned about a comment I heard out of Lamar Jackson today that he's never played in snow, and he really doesn't want to play in snow. That gave me some hesitation. But I just really believe that the Ravens are a better team. And on defense, you know, we talked about them stopping the run last week, and that's exactly right. They are big and strong up front. Pernell McPhee and Judon are great edge rushers. They blitz more than any team in the NFL by a far margin, and they have great coverage guys in the back end with Peters and that crew. So I really think that this is going to be a real different kind of game for Josh Allen. He's going to get all kind of different looks, all kind of different pressures. Ravens will get on top early. I like the Ravens, and I'm going to say that we're going to go with, and this is a 50 now. This is a 50 burger we're talking about, Rachel. But I'm going to say the over and the Ravens.
Yes, take the over. I love the over. And everybody was telling me that with the Colts-Bills game that it was not going to hit the over. I was crazy for thinking that the over hit. So we were good.
Barely.
And I'm taking the over this week. Barely, but I still got it. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Right.
But no, look, I heard the snow comment myself, and I know that Lamar Jackson's never played in the snow. But first of all, one thing I've learned this year is that I feel like weather is kind of overrated. Like, I don't know, call me crazy, but in a lot of these games where I was told, oh, it's going to be snowy, it's going to be really cold, it's really windy, like take the under, it's going to be a run-heavy game. It wasn't. It really wasn't, and usually the over hit, and I was completely wrong. So I put less credence in the weather than most people. With that being said, Lamar Jackson may not have played in the snow before, but he's definitely played in the cold. I mean, right. Baltimore is cold. It gets cold in Louisville, Kentucky, and I think both of these teams are built to play in cold weather. Everybody, I feel like people are sleeping on Josh Allen in this game, though, because talking about, the Rams are built to run it in the snow. That's how they're built. Well, last I checked, Josh Allen is thick with 2 C's, okay? He's thick. He got a little muscle, a little blubber. Like, he can handle the cold. He played in Wisconsin, and the dude can run as well. I'm taking the Bills to win this game, and since the spread is so close, I'm going to say that the Bills cover 2.5. I think that Lamar Jackson, he won his playoff game last week, and he looked great, and I love what they're doing over there, but I just believe in this Bills team a little bit more. Call me crazy, and of course, I'm taking the over. Chelsea, how do you feel about the point total?
I don't love it, but I think I would side with you. I kind of like the Bills here just because it's so hard to slow down their offense the way they do it because, yeah, the Ravens are really good at stopping the run, but we've seen that their secondary is really, really good. And don't get me wrong, but I think Stephon Diggs, what he's been able to do this season, I think he's due for some big plays. And the fact that Josh Allen can still run the football, that adds another dynamic that you've got to stop on defense that obviously makes it harder. And I think that's why they've been able to succeed offensively so much this season.
Yep. MVP, you know what? If Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing in this league this year right now, I would say Josh Allen's probably going to win the MVP, but I digress. There you have it, guys. That's our picks for the Bills and the Ravens. Chelsea has Lamar going over 75.5 rushing yards. Was that correct?
74.5.
74.5. My bad. I'm sorry about that. She's taking the Bills to cover. I'm taking the Bills to cover. We're both going with the over on the point total. And Jeff, tell me one more time, who'd you take in this game?
Take the Ravens and the over.
Ravens and the over. There you have it, guys. Let us know in the comments below. Bills Mafia, they going to take a step forward? Is Lamar Jackson going to get it? Y'all let us know. Let me know what you got going as well, because I might need to make some money off of you guys. All right, help us out. Let us know. All right, guys, let's talk about Sunday's first game. We got the Browns taking on the Chiefs. As of Wednesday, the Chiefs are 10-point favorites, and the point total is set at 56. Now, the Browns, wow, crazy game against the Steelers, right? They start off the first quarter 28-0. Nick Chubb ran the ball. Kareem Hunt ran the ball. Everybody ran the ball. Roethlisberger threw 4 interceptions. Okay, the Browns, they scored like on the first snap of the game. The ball goes sailing over Roethlisberger's head. They get a defensive touchdown. Now let's talk about the Chiefs, right? They're a fantastic team as well. They're still the favorites to win the Super Bowl. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they're rested coming off of their bye week. Jeff, Chelsea, this is a double-digit spread, presuming we all think Kansas City's going to win. I don't want to presume we all think Kansas City's going to win the game. You guys tell me. I'll start with you, Chelsea. Who's winning this game? Who's covering? Point total? All that good stuff. How you feel?
A double-digit spread in the playoffs equals puke emoji for me. I think it really depends on how you look at that last Browns game. If you think that the Steelers lost it, or if you think the Browns won it, because you can look at it 2 different ways just because the Browns let them hang around. It's not like it was a dominant performance from the Browns. The Steelers just looked really terrible. So I think that's one thing you need to factor in. And then the Chiefs are a team that just, there's no sense of urgency there. They know they're good. They know they can score at any time, So that's what scares me about a double-digit point spread when you're talking about the Chiefs. And also, if you think if there's any kind of rust there, covering that big of a number means they're going to have to absolutely blow them out, because that means the back door can't even be open. So I think I will be teasing this one or doing some kind of parlay. What I'm looking at is Travis Kelce touchdown combined with the Browns plus 21.5. That sounds huge, but you can get both of those parlayed together for plus 119. So that's where I am headed, just because I think this is going to be a good game for anytime touchdown bets, just because I think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns. We've seen what this Browns defense can give up, especially when it's those type of games where there's a lot of touchdowns. So that's where I'm headed.
Jeff, what are you thinking?
I agree that the double-digit spread's too much for me. I think Kansas City's going to win the game. I don't think there's any question that they're going to win the game. If you look at Andy Reid's success coming off of a bye, which is what they've just had, his success ratio is unbelievable. Now, there will be some rust. You can count on that. But Chelsea made a really great point. The Chiefs have been like that cat that plays with a mouse for the last 6 weeks. They just let it run, and then they slap it when they need to. So they know that they're measured by what they do in January. Once you've won a Super Bowl, now it's about, can you win another one? So I think they'll be extremely motivated in this. I think Patrick Mahomes will be sharp. I worry a little bit about Patrick Mahomes being too hyped and too geeked for this game and not let the game come to him, because Cleveland is bad in the secondary. They really struggle in the back end. And so I really think Kansas City is going to score a lot in this game. But again, I think Cleveland has the ability to score against the Kansas City defense. Baker Mayfield is playing his best football at this time. So again, I'm going to take Cleveland to cover the double-digit spread, and the 56 I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I'm definitely going over in this game, just because I know the Chiefs are going to put up a lot of points. And then I'm going to tack on that Baker Mayfield. I just think the dude is playing with like the biggest chip on his shoulder possible, like the biggest chip. I think every day that dude just wakes up and he thinks about what dudes like Chase Claypool were saying about them and everything. Like, I don't know, man, he just plays with a lot of heart. And I maybe I put too much stock into that, but I do think that the Browns cover in this game. And the thing, you nailed it on the head. I never would have thought of that as an analogy, Jeff, but you said it's a cat playing with a mice. And I mean, I could picture it in my head. You're exactly right. I've watched them play up or down 2 levels of competition all year. And I didn't know if that's a Super Bowl hangover or if that's something else, but I digress. I do think that the Browns cover, and mainly for this one reason. The Browns' strength, obviously, is running the ball with that 2-headed monster. And the Chiefs' defense is good, don't get me wrong, but the weakness of their defense is run defense. So for that reason, I feel very confident that the Browns will cover. I mean, they got the whole city of Cleveland on their back, man. I don't think they're going down by double digits. I don't. I'm definitely taking the over. There's just too many talented players on offense for this not to go over. So I don't know. You guys tell me, am I crazy for thinking the Browns? I'm like, the Browns finally get into the postseason, and I'm like, yeah, they got this. But they ain't really been there, done that, like the Chiefs have. So who knows? But there you have it, guys. Chelsea, tell the people again what your picks were.
It was a parlay with Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown, parlayed with the Browns plus 21.5, and it's plus 119 if you parlay them together.
I love that. That's fantastic. And Jeff, you had the Browns covering as well as I did, correct? But you have the Chiefs winning.
Chiefs win, Browns cover, 56 under.
Under. All right. Can't wait to get back with you next week, and we can compare and contrast our picks on this game. All right, guys, there you have it. We got Chiefs Kingdom and the Dog Pound going at it. Let us know in the comments below what you think. All right, guys, let's talk about Sunday Night Football. Prime time, baby. Prime time. Tampa Bay is heading into NOLA to take on the Saints. As of Wednesday, the Saints are 3-point favorites, and the point total is set at 51.5. Now, the Bucs, they beat the Washington football team. Make sure I say that right. The Washington football team. Still getting used to that. 31-23. Tom Brady, 381 yards, 2 touchdowns, another touchdown for Antonio Brown, And then we get to the Saints, right? They beat the Bears 21-9 at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. They cover the 10-point spread, and they are now looking for a 3-game sweep against the Bucs, having beaten them twice already in the regular season. Jeff, Chelsa, can the Saints three-peat against the Bucs, or do Tom Brady and company take over here? Chelsa, I'll start with you.
Let me first tell you how many times that the Bucs defense has burned me this season. On paper, they're this vaunted defense that's number one in rush yards per game allowed, but for some reason or another, they still allow points. So I don't think I can rely on them again here. And then they're going against the Saints defense that's number one in defensive efficiency. As you mentioned in the intro, the Bucs have been owned by the Saints, 0-4 in their last 4, being outscored 137-67 in those games. I think the Bucs make it a little bit closer here, but I like the Saints here. Their defense is too good, and they have all their offensive weapons clicking right now. Michael Thomas is back, making Michael Thomas moves, and then Alvin Kamara is doing the things that he's supposed to do when it comes to the run game. I think there's too many weapons. Oh, yeah, and just sprinkle in a little Taysom Hill. Yeah, too much for Tampa Bay, I think, to handle.
What do you think, Jeff? How's it going in this game?
In pro football, to beat the same team 3 times in one season is, incredible. And now when you consider that the third of these matchups is going to be in the playoffs, so these are 2 really good football teams. But, I feel like Chelsa does. I watch the Bucs defense, and I hear about the Bucs defense, and then I see it on tape, and I just see too many big plays against it. Tyler Haneke has been with 5 football teams, and he went into that game last week, and he kept his football team within a touchdown of winning that game. This week, they face a Hall of Famer, and a Hall of Famer with all of his weapons for the first time since the first time they played, when Michael Thomas got hurt. So you add in and factor in Deontay Harris, his emergence in the last 3 weeks to give him that guy that can catch a hitch screen and go 60 against you. I just really think that the Saints, top to bottom, offense, defense, and special teams, and special teams always play big in this. Thomas Morstead's the best punter of the 2 punters. They're extremely good covering punts and kickoffs. The Saints are a more complete team. It's just, to me, again, as hard as it is to say that you're going to beat your arch rival 3 times, I think that's what's going to happen in this game.
Y'all are crazy. Tom Brady ain't about to get
a three-peat. There with your angry Tom Brady again.
It's angry Brady, and I don't ever bet against angry Brady. It rarely ever loses me money. I can't see it, and maybe it's my bias as a self-deprecating, sad Falcons fan. But I just hate the Saints, okay? So before you listen to anything I say, just know that, okay? But with that being said, I also hate the Bucs. And also as a Falcons fan, I also hate Tom Brady because of what he did to us in the Super Bowl. I hate everybody in this game. I'd be happy if they both lose and neither one of them advance. That'd be great. But that's not going to happen. Somebody has to win this game. And my whole adult life, Tom Brady has been murking the NFL. And I just cannot fathom him getting 3-peat. I cannot see him getting swept by the Saints. So because the Saints are favorites here, obviously I have the Bucs covering. Obviously I have them winning money line. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that in the last time they played, I don't think Antonio Brown was, even if he was playing, he was not full effect. That was the game where the Bucs only ran it like 5 times in the game, which was like insane. Never happened, I think, since they've been recording these things in the NFL. Leonard Fournette looks like he is just completely now. I just feel like it's a different Bucs team right now. I really do. And Tom Brady, he just ain't going down like that. Ain't happening. And that's all. That's my expert opinion here when it comes to this game. Now, everybody, maybe I missed it. Maybe you said it. I'm taking the over, obviously, in this game. Chelsa, are you taking the over?
I like the over here too, just because, like you said, I think this Bucs offense has looked a lot better as of late. I don't think they're good enough to beat the Saints, but I think their offense is really clicking, and they're going to be able to put up some points here. And especially, no weather is going to be a factor when you're in a dome environment. 2 great quarterbacks picking each other apart. Yeah, I like the over, and it's already gone up a point, which means people are already hammering the over.
Jeff, you take the over as well?
Take the over. There's going to be.
All right.
There's going to be.
That makes me happy.
A lot of points early and a lot of points the whole way through. You know, it's interesting. The deep ball's back in Tampa. Everybody was, you know, having questions in his last 2 years in New England about Brady's ability to throw the ball down the field. And now with Antonio Brown and Godwin and Mike Evans, and I mean, he's got so many weapons at his disposal. They'll push the ball down the field because that's what Bruce likes to do.
Yeah, no risk it, no biscuit, baby. This isn't going to be a 38-3 game again. Ain't happening. It's going to be a lot of points scored, so we all agree on that. There you have it, guys. There's our picks for prime time, baby. It's going to be a game for the ages. And as I said before we started the show, it is not often that I look forward to seeing men in their 40s play sports. But this is the exception to my rule. I'm so looking forward to this. And everybody, viewers, bettors, gamblers, everybody, just take a minute to appreciate this game as well, because this very well might be the last time that we ever get to see this matchup again. And I know that historically Drew Brees has won the matchup whenever it comes to him versus Tom Brady. But yeah, just take a moment to appreciate greatness, okay? Because they're goats. There you have it. That's our picks. Let us know in the comments below what you think. All right, everybody, it's time for my favorite segment of the show and probably the most valuable segment of the show. It's time for our Pickswise Lock of the Week. Self-explanatory enough, it's the best bet of the week's slate of games that we feel the most confident about for you guys to make some money off of. So here we go. I'll start off with you, Chelsa. What are you feeling like your lock of the week is?
You know me, and you know that I love teasers, and especially with some of these spreads being so sharp when it comes to the NFL playoffs, I'm going that route. I'm taking the Packers -0.5. I think there's no way that the Packers lose at home to a Ram squad with Jared Goff with all those pins in his finger or whatever's going on with his thumb. I like them to win. And then you've got the Ravens +8.5. I think if the Ravens can slow down the tempo in that game, their run defense has been incredible. So I think that they can keep it at least 8.5 points worth close against the Bills. You combine those both, it's -130. That is my best bet of the week.
I love it. Jeff, what do you got?
Short and sweet. Who dat nation? Take the Saints -3.
Okay, short and sweet. Saints -3. So you want to fight? You really want to fight? I just went on this long spiel about how Brady is not going down. He's not getting swept by nobody. And you really want to do this, huh? That's how you feeling today.
I got to do it to you, girl. I can't deny what's true is what's true.
All right, guys. Well, my lock of the week is going to be the Bills-Ravens game, going over 49.5 points. Depending on what sportsbook you're looking at, I'm seeing 49.5 some places. I'm seeing 50.5 some places. Either or, take it how you can get it. Whatever you want, it's going over. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes over 60 points, okay? That's just how I feel. There's way too much freaking talent on both of these offenses for it not to happen. And then I wanted to throw in a side caveat. As Chelsa mentioned earlier in the show, there's a prop bet for Lamar Jackson, 74.5 rushing yards. I would absolutely take that. If you want to add a second lock to my segment, that's it for you. I'm taking the over on that bet. I think she said it was -112 or -114. Either way, I digress. The Bills' weakness right up the middle, as Coach Jeff has told us a million times, they're soft in the middle. You can run the ball on them, and that's what's going to happen. Won me some money last week. It's going to win me some money this week. All right, guys, there you have it. That's our locks of the week. Let us know in the comments below what you think. All right, everybody, great show. I had a lot of fun, and I loved the element with the teasers that our lovely guest Chelsa Messinger brought to the show. Chelsa, let the people know where they can find you at.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Chelsa Messinger. You can find me, share your memes, your teasers, your parlays, and your lock of the week. Always happy to hear it. Always happy to engage. And thanks for having me on the show. I had a great time.
I'm so glad you had a great time. We had a great time. We always have a great time. I love Jeff. And guys, be sure to follow Chelsa because she's a really good and very funny, clever, witty, funny Twitter follow. So I love it. Jeff, any final parting words? Any last words before your Saints and Who Dat Nation go down?
Oh, don't even go there with me, man. They're down at Marie Laveau's right now, whooping up all kinds of stuff for the Bucs. So it's going to be don't come to NOLA.
All right. Some beignets do sound good. I'm here in Houston, Texas. I ain't that far away. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we will be back next week and throughout the playoffs. It ain't ending today. Okay. Be sure to gamble responsibly. Enjoy the greatness that you will see with Tom Brady and Drew Brees. It's going to be a good one. And I look forward to reading your comments. And thanks for tuning in. All right. Gamble responsibly. We love you. Peace out.